I haven't done a news story in quite a while actually, but this one is far too funny and stupid to pass up. So in the last couple of days, now if you haven't laughed yourself into a coma over this hypocritical bollocks that is, Joe Biden was found to have kept classified documents in a DC think tank that also bears his name, the Penn Biden Center for Diplomacy and Global Engagement. Given Biden's love of all things foreign, especially money, that already screams sketchy from the damn rooftops. So the files in question were discovered by Biden's personal lawyers after they were vacating the office space, according to a statement by one Richard Sorber, a special counsel to the plastic puppet on the strings. Apparently they didn't go through it, but they knew it was classified material, which just makes me picture this Naked Gun-style skit where they look at this piece of paper with a giant top secret sticker on it going, whoa, do you see this? Should we contact the president? Should we contact the president? I feel like we should contact the president. Like, the level of incompetence is astonishing. So the documents were reportedly stored in a folder inside a box of other unclassified papers. The closet they were pulled out of was reportedly inside a private office that belonged to Biden, according to CNN anyway. Who the hell knows? Now, the classified papers in question, I believe it was this one, dates from 2013 to 2016. It could be the second drop, I'm not sure. But Biden had used this office space only since 2017. So either Biden or his staff knowingly or unknowingly took classified materials after the Obama administration to this private location. All presidential and vice presidential documents must be turned over to the National Archives at the conclusion of a presidency, according to the Presidential Records Act of 1978, which Biden has clearly violated here. Not only that, ever since it was founded in 2018, the think tank reportedly received just shy of $16 million worth of Chinese gifts in 2017 and a whopping $14.5 million in 2018, records show. Now, how or why exactly they would get the just shy of $16 million in gifts before the think tank is operational, shall we say, is suspicious, but then again, the Bidens reek of corruption. In fact, the University of Pennsylvania, which the think tank is affiliated with, I wonder why, received a total of almost $55 million from China between 2014 and 2019, the Post reported in April of last year, a claim which a spokesman for the Penn Biden Center strenuously denied. Again, I wonder why. Now, Biden claims when he was told about this, presumably by his lawyers, he knew nothing about any of this. Frankly, I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, or even true or false for that matter. Because on the one hand, either you or your staff, voluntarily or involuntarily, kept classified materials past the allotted time where you were legally allowed to do so, and then took them to a private location, which again, you may or not have even known about. Which shows either gross negligence or lack of due diligence on the part of the vice president or his staff. Regardless, this is a direct violation of the Presidential Records Act of 1978. Now, coming off the heels of that, his claims of not knowing any of this, that might be true, we have no idea. Because Biden being a pathological liar for his entire political career, he is also now a senile dementia patient. Usually with politicians nowadays, it's, are you that stupid or just evil? But with Biden, given that he can't remember what he said about 6 seconds ago, when he says he can't remember things that happened 6 years ago, yeah, you're kind of wondering, is he just lying as usual, or is that genuinely the dementia kicking in? Because we don't know. Now, all of this happened several days before the midterms last year. I wonder why it wasn't announced then. Of course, I'm being facetious, so we all know why. Now, the funny thing is, when Biden said the classified documents were discovered, he tried to take a dig at Trump and said they did the responsible thing and contacted the archives immediately. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, Joe, you did the responsible thing. You only kept classified documents far past the time you were legally allowed to do so. You violated the Presidential Records Act of 78. You or your staff, knowingly or unknowingly, kept said documents showing either gross incompetence or deceit, moved them to the private office space, accessible to who the hell knows who, forgot they were even there, only for them to be discovered by the steward's lawyers over 6 years past the return to archives date. But now, upon discovery, you, Joe, did the responsible thing. You must be fucking kidding me. Oh, but it gets worse. A second batch of files were discovered in his own Delaware residence, in his garage, no freaking less. According to the White House counsel's office, the official legal team is fully cooperating with the National Archives and the Department of Justice in order to ensure that any Obama-Biden administration records are appropriately in possession of the archives. Never mind, apparently, that any such review maybe should have been done in 2017 and not in 2023 to ensure that Biden didn't have any classified government documents floating around the East Coast. But anyway, according to Town Hall, the president's lawyers have searched the president's Wilmington and Rehoboth Beach, Delaware residence, the other locations where files from his vice presidential office might have been shipped. In the course of the 2017 transition, the White House counsel's office explained in their too-late attempt to ensure compliance with the Presidential Records Act. So let me get this straight. The first batch, which was discovered in November, only leaked to the press a few days ago. No attempt to find any more classified materials since November, a fact that neither Biden or the DOJ disclosed. But it looks like, now that it's been leaked to the press, oh now they want to comb through his home for more classified materials because apparently Biden is too stupid or dishonest or too old to remember where he or prior staff may have stored classified materials. That's what I originally thought. Then I read from the Federalist, no, they actually found the garage drop in December. Now, I have no idea if after they found the documents at the office space, how quickly they went to other potential locations to look for more documents, but regardless, it wasn't reported on at the time of discovery. No, that was several weeks later. Once before the midterms, which wasn't reported on, several weeks after, presumably, discovered in the garage, which again wasn't reported on either, wait until now to report on the office discovery, wait a day or two, and then report on the garage drop, the second discovery, which would have been at least several weeks past the first one. The timing does seem a little bit sus now, doesn't it? Are we ever going to get an explanation as to how the hell any of that stuff winded up in his own house? And maybe since when it's been there? I somehow doubt that. Which brings us to Donald Trump, because as we all know, at least some parts of the media's talking heads cannot take anything at face value without somehow bringing in Donald Trump, being the partisan morons that they are. And my lord, the cope has been magnificent. Here is one that I'm going to shamelessly pinch from Memology. Do check out his channel because he does really good stuff.
I think that what you just said is right, that there are differences in what happened.
Yes, but the optics are not good.
Well, we all know that Trump is a liar and a thief, we know that. So it's not that big a jump to say that he obstructed and he lied. We don't think that Biden is a liar and a thief, so we give him the benefit of the doubt. That's partly what's going on. But what I think also is going on, no matter what the truth of it is, Whoopi, they will spin it, Bubblehead and Marjorie Taylor and that crowd, Matt Gaetz. You think they're not going to spin this, that it's just as bad as Trump? And so the lie gets out there, people believe it.
Dude, you look in the fucking mirror, you stupid Muppet?
The lying has been so invasive, so ubiquitous, that no one will believe the truth anymore. And that you can put that at the feet of Donald Trump, who started the lying.
The desperation from these morons is insane. Considering the ire of the machine at President Trump, do you not think if he did something actually illegal by now, the machine would have nabbed him? It's like watching a mental illness make someone completely stupid in real time. Secondly, my word, these harpies are so dumb. Biden and Trump are not the same. Trump was president. He is allowed to declassify anything he wants, seeing as he was the president. Same with Bill Clinton and the sock drawer tapes. Biden, VP. He is not allowed to declassify anything. Trump kept what he is legally allowed to keep in a safe, protected by the Secret Service. Biden kept what he is not allowed to keep for over 6 years in either a public space or his own damn garage that even his crackhead kid had access to. Oh, but do check this out. After the garage one, they double down again.
Donald Trump's whole argument in his defense hinges on former presidents have mishandled classified documents, and as a former president, I have the right to declassify documents. Now, I disagree with both of those, but Joe Biden is building his defense for him. Like, I hate to say it, this is much harder to
what I
argue
think?
against
I've never
Trump.
seen a luckier person than Donald Trump. Just as we're this close to getting him,
but you know what?
somehow these documents appear.
But here's the thing, Biden is wrong to have done this. He was in office for 40 years.
Let's find out what this is first. Now, again, one of the things that gets me crazy is before we know, it's already been spun a specific way. I don't want to see that. I want to see someone explain to me, A, how it's possible that after all this time, nobody knew this. Because to me, if you're missing classified information, I don't mean to laugh, but in my house, if stuff is missing, I know it's missing.
Does it feel like Oppo research to you? Does it feel like the Republicans are behind it?
It's not.
It did originally, but I'm sorry, but not now. Because one of the things he's saying is that, you know, some of the locations where the docs may have been shipped in the transition may have gotten taken and put.
I want to read this spoon-infused version from Redstead because it's great. Joy Behar is so delusional on so many levels that she thinks, like so many Trump derangement syndrome idiots, that this time they finally got him, that she's never seen a luckier person. Not exactly lucky that the Democrats have been trying to get him since before he got into office because he was a threat to their power. The fact that they haven't been able to do him in, despite all of their efforts, is a tribute to the fact that there's not a lot there to get, unless they make it up and lie about it, like the Russian collusion, for example. Then she acts like the Biden documents dropped out of thin air just to upset their plans to get Trump, ignoring the fact that Joe Biden improperly took the documents and kept them in insecure settings for years. She's the same person who said that the two situations are different because they think Trump is a liar and Biden isn't. That shows what kind of judgment Joy Behar has. The funniest thing was Whoopi Goldberg's reaction, and who the hell is she kidding? She's been the queen of spinning without the facts when it comes to Trump and or any Republicans. She's always shooting her mouth off without knowing what she is talking about, as are most of her co-hosts. And Sunny Hostin went over to the conspiracy slide. Does it feel like opposition research to you? Does it feel like the Republicans are behind this? That might have been the dumbest thing said all damn day, but with tough competition from Representative Hank Johnson, who also claimed the documents were planted. Do you know what opposition research even means? Because I get the feeling you don't. That's not opposition research, that's incrimination. I mean, how the let me try and spin this. The Republicans planted this how? The Republicans would have had to somehow get access to said classified materials from the Obama administration, either directly from someone with clearance or pinched them from the archives, presumably, or while Biden wasn't looking at some point in the past, keep them, then plant them in the closet at the Biden pen office, somehow know the place is going to get cleared, and when, who is going to clear it, assume they will contact the archives when they get the material. You'd also get a leak to the press, why it wasn't leaked before the midterms, where it would have probably done more damage, or who knows, but then again, this isn't supposed to make any sense. Assume they do, be able to escalate the situation with more documents, get access to Biden's own home, plant it there. Also make sure that Biden's own team would search the residence then, in December, as it turns out. Yet again, also leak it to the press, damage him on behalf of the Republicans. All of this as an in case he ran for president one day, whilst simultaneously dancing around the fact this makes Trump's case for him. You can't make this shit up. I know we've seen the ladies at The View say some pretty airheaded things, but really? Somehow those magically gifted Republicans were able to get into Biden's office at the Penn Biden Center, then into his garage, and then even inside his own home in Wilmington? What great powers those Republicans seem to have. Then what does it say about the security of Biden's office and his home when it can be accessed so easily by those evil Republicans? It's obviously not very secure now, is it? And then Sarah Haynes caps all of this off by saying how this wasn't like what happened with Trump. Anyone with any amount of brain cells knows these are not completely equivalent purely because the volume, the obstruction, the refusal. They had to storm the Golden Castle of Mar-a-Lago to get it. No, Trump had the right to presidential records and had the power to declassify them. Biden did not. He wasn't the president. He took the records and kept them for who knows how many years improperly. There is no excuse at all for Biden. At the same point, all of the women on The View are anti-Trump. They're not even pretending to make any sense. And how or why would you put any such unserious people on television as though they had anything of worth to say? You know, that last sentence is a really good question. That's one that I ask myself every time I see these miserable wankers on my screen. Now let's move away from the stupidity of The View to a more skeptical approach, shall we say. Because the one thing I always find very unusual about the American government is anyone born American can be president, which is not exactly equal if I'm going by the leftist playbook, but anyway. This is not true, obviously, because voters don't decide the president. Money preselects the president. The oligarchy picks the next leader, and then the voters get to decide in this giant sham of a charade that gets called our democracy, that no one batches a damn eye at. Even the media openly talk about the Democrats and Republicans putting forth a candidate. Who is this Democrats and Republicans that you speak of, and who put them in power? Oh yeah, the same money that picks the leader of the uni-party. There is no party loyalty. No, it's loyalty to a return on investment. The party affiliation is merely a stage label. Liberal democracy is cringing gay. The media have loyalty to the uni-party, not the figure in the executive. If the figure in the executive is with the uni-party, it'll kiss his ass. When it's not, it will try and kick it. Biden has played his role in not causing a meltdown of a red wave past the midterms, and now the uni-party is merely starting early to grind his reputation into dust in order to make him appear as an electoral liability for the 2024 election in the eyes of the voters, as the oligarchy will pre-select the next candidate. It'll be Cackles or the 80s movie villain. So when I see people cheering, going, oh, Biden is done, etc., etc., all of that clickbaity crap, that's just damage control. Biden was never there to be his own man to begin with. He's a moronic old puppet, and anyone who pays attention knows this. Hell, most people will actually acknowledge that, in fact. But they will still, play into this facade. It's very strange. What is fun to watch now, though, is this sort of interim period where some have already ditched Biden. Now they're grooming the next uni-party candidate. And the lemming lackeys who will usually do the bidding, well, they haven't quite gotten the NPC update just yet. They're still running on the old playbook. So you will see these mild glimpses of crashes. It'll be a while up until Biden officially announces that he isn't running anymore. And then you will see the alignment really kick in and go up a gear. And that is all for today. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.